Hi everybody, hope you're having a great day. I want to start off today with some non-COVID, non-protocol, non-state, non-typical stuff, and start off with some really good, really exciting news. Um, I was informed this morning, and I want to say big congratulations out to Vin Sanchez and his family on the birth of their granddaughter yesterday. And welcome Whitney to the world. Both mom and baby are doing well. Very excited for Vinny and his family. And it's just nice to have some good news like that we can report out on. So congratulations, Vinny family. We're super happy for you, and please send our congratulations to the rest of the family. Um, Over the last 24 hours, I've been on. It seemed like I've been on webinars and podcasts and calls nonstop. Yesterday, I was on an ACM President's meeting, the annual meeting, and yesterday's guest speaker was Governor Lamont. DCD Commissioner David Lehman and our very own Colin Cooper. And then this morning I was on two other webinars. One was a commercial aerospace investment economic forum, and then that was followed by a CCAT, Connecticut Center for Advanced Technologies webinar that was on the Connecticut economy and in particular Connecticut manufacturing. So it was a lot of interesting information. I'm still trying to digest a lot of it as I've been taking copious notes. But let me just kind of give you a highlight of what I took away from all of those calls. First and foremost, we still have a long road ahead of us. Even with the reopening of the economy, reopening of the state, various phases, so many of the phases still haven't been identified. There's too many potential lawsuits going on about if we could open up this, why can't we open up our business? And if they can't open up, then they shouldn't be able to open up. And there's just a lot of noise associated with that. But the one thing I take away from it is PPE, temperature checks, some form of social distancing is here for the long haul. At least everything I'm seeing is at least until there's a vaccine. Even with antibody testing, there's still an unknown of whether or not you can get it again. It's too early, or if there's a different strain that's just not detectable. So what I'm seeing and hearing is that there's going to be some level of this normalcy, even though relaxed a bit, but at least until there's a vaccine. And what they're saying is, although there are some indicators that we can have a vaccine sooner, we should have in our head there won't be a vaccine until mid-2021. So we got a year from now where we're going to be dealing with stuff like this inside of work and outside of work. And so that's just something I think we should just start to get our heads around. School was interesting. It was an interesting comment that schools still won't be back to quote unquote normal in the fall, and that public schools should be prepared for some hybrid approach to teaching. The intent is for students to be back, but the schools and the families should be mentally prepared for some hybrid approach where there might be some period of time where you're on site, some period of time where you're distance learning, and be very prepared for a spike in the fall or winter, or a resurgence in the fall or winter to immediately go back to distance learning. So for those of you with school-age kids, be prepared. Interesting thing about Connecticut employment level, they're using 2019 as the baseline, as the pre-COVID, whether we're looking at the economy, whether we're looking at commercial aerospace, or in this case it's Connecticut employment. They're saying that everything they see, Connecticut as a whole, not aerospace, not just manufacturing, but Connecticut employment, will not be back to pre-2019 levels until third quarter of 2022. Think about that. Third quarter of 2022 is when Connecticut will be back up to the employment level that it was back at the end of December. From the aerospace industry, a lot of talk about airlines and MROs folding or being consolidated and going out of business. A lot of conversation around with fuel costs, where they are not as much need for airlines to buy new aircraft that are more fuel efficient, with more fuel efficient engines. So that could be a good thing for us. More maintenance, more focus on flying older aircraft longer, but that's to be determined, because everything I still see, we're at 20% of the air traffic, commercial air traffic volume that we were at the end of 2019. And by the time it comes back, there's still going to be quite a few aircraft that are sitting parked on a tarmac or parked at a field somewhere. So that was pretty interesting. The other one that I took away was as it pertains to the commercial airline industry, not just domestic, but just the entire commercial airline industry. They're saying that airline travel, per passenger travel, what I heard this morning was won't be back up to pre-COVID-19 levels until late 2023. So it's 3 years, 3.5 years from now to get back up to the same travel level. They showed a graph of 9/11 and how travel was hit, but there was kind of a quick rise back up to heavy travel levels. They're showing this is till the end of 2023. So what's all this saying, and what does it mean to us? So it means to us that Connecticut employment is going to continue to be depressed. So those that have jobs should covet them. And as businesses looking to hire, the market is very plentiful. So that's a positive for us as we grow. And it's a good opportunity for us to be able to get top talent as we move forward. But what it also is telling me very loud and clear is as I look at the businesses that are reporting into these things, or just a lot of the things I'm reading, is that the companies that were in the aerospace industry that were focused on commercial, and there were so many of them that were riding the GTF wave, riding, the GE and Pratt wave, or Airbus and Boeing on the airframe side, had tremendous amount of work for decades. The book volume was out there. They didn't have capacity to focus on anything else, so they were 100% commercial. Those companies are being decimated. But those companies are also scrambling very hard to diversify into either other industries, or the most easily diversified adjacent industry is the military, the DoD side. And so there is a huge scramble for commercial companies to get into the military supply chain, which means there's more competition on the military supply chain than there had been before. So those companies that were, maybe fat, dumb, and happy on the military side, that might have some execution issues, are at risk of losing business because there's more companies available. And I think that's the message I want everybody to hear, is we are blessed for a lot of reasons, but we are blessed because of the work that Jeff and the team has done over the years to be as diversified as we are in both commercial and military, fixed wing and rotary wing, selling to on the work product on the engines and on the airframe, and selling to the OEM and the end user. And that's really good, and I'm very thankful for that. But if we're not a top supplier, 100% on-time delivery, 100% quality, there are a lot of people that are knocking on the OEM's doorsteps to try to get in. And there's a lot of motivation because you can drive the cost down on the military side, having more competition. And so the OEMs are looking to look at reduced costs with more opportunities to pick more players in the supply chain. And so you look at us right now, our commercial business is getting pushed. We see that. The SR Techniques, the Emirates, the Summit Aviation, there's a bunch of companies that we have product that we want to ship that's being pushed off. And we have a huge push on the F-135 side. Some of this push is mainly due to us being behind. But if we can get this military work out, the F-135 work out, the containers, the ESSs, the MTTs, and some of the other product that we sell, will bode very well for us in the future. But just when we ship it out doesn't mean that we've achieved the success because we've been so late on these. There are so many companies right now knocking on the door wanting those opportunities because they have the capacity and they have experience in similar products on the commercial side. So we need to execute. We need to execute perfectly. And if we do, the sky is the limit. The amount of work that we can have flowing through Avco and all of our different facilities is tremendous. But the bottom is just as big. If we can't execute and we trip up and we don't get our customer what they need when they need it, not only will we see a reduction in orders, we may not see an opportunity to quote again because there's other companies that have past performance on the military side that say, see, we're 100% on time. We've had no escapes. So my message to you today is focus on being diligent at getting this product out the door, removing roadblocks, executing perfectly, making sure we're buying at the right time, buying the right material with the right certs, making it right the first time, inspecting it as soon as it's ready, assembling as soon as it's ready, and perfect communication to our customers. We do that, and we do it in a manner where we can win more business, we will profit for a long time. I don't want us to be in a position where our commercial business is decimated and we lose military work and we're forced to have to participate in the higher level of unemployed personnel. It's not a threat by any stretch of the imagination, it's just the reality of the situation. We've done a good job of maintaining the workforce. We have participated in all the federal programs, but within the next 2 months, those federal programs are done. You have to be self-sufficient. We have an opportunity to be self-sufficient, and we just need to do it. So again, the sky's the limit. Let's go that direction, and let's execute perfectly. So I hope some of this information was helpful. Congratulations again to Vinny and the family. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.